What is it like being a 450-pound person playing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? It's quite a question. It's quite an experience. Thank you for joining me. This is something I've been thinking about doing for a long time. It kind of sealed the deal the other day. Why did I start this? Why did I start this channel? There's two reasons, two questions really in that. Why did I start Jiu-Jitsu in the first place? And then second, why this channel? First thing, why did I start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? There's a lot involved in this, a lot of small things, self-protection, along with like concealed carry, how to protect my family. I have 4 daughters and my wife, and so I'm looked at for protection in that case. Losing weight, huge one. Being able to have accountability, those things are really important, and I saw that a lot of that was available through Jiu-Jitsu. In short, losing weight was a big piece, and then flexibility. I have actively spent the last 15 years avoiding bending over, getting on the floor, having to stand up. Jiu-Jitsu is all about being on the floor and being able to move. It felt like if that's what I want to be able to do, then I need to do a sport that does that. The closest that I get is doing squats in the gym, and that's completely different than what this sport is. So I hate running. I've done some 5Ks before, and it's taken me an hour and 23 minutes to do my first one, an hour to do my second one. And each time that I did that, I kind of fell off, and I hit my goal. I finished the 5K, and then that was kind of it. There was nothing next. And so the accountability was a big piece. I still love weightlifting. I still enjoy doing that, although personal records seem to be falling off the older I get as well. So I had seen, part of me doesn't want to admit this just because this seems to be the thing, Joe Rogan and Jocko Willink talking about Jiu-Jitsu. They talk about it all the time. It's something that they really value in their life. It's something that's meaningful for them. It's something that trains their thinking. It's all these different things, depending on what mood they're in that day. So I looked into it, and I casually brought it up to my wife, and surprisingly, she said, "You should do it." It just really surprised me. I thought she'd laugh at me, or just kind of like, "Oh, that's cute, honey." No, you should do it. It would be good for you. So I did what I always do. What's the first thing I do when I'm interested in something? Search it up on YouTube. So when I went to YouTube, this is what I encountered. And let me ask you first, when you hear the word giant or fat, what size or what number comes to mind for you? For most people, understandably, they know 400-pound people exist, like that's a thing. They know that 500, 600-pound people exist, that's a thing. But generally, they're probably thinking, 250, 300, like that. 3 bills is a big guy. It's a giant. And so what do I search? I search fat people jiu-jitsu. And this is what I come up with, is these things here. And I quickly realized that either I or they had the wrong definition of big or giant or even fat. And what I realized in seeing numbers, particularly like these, is that, as Master Qui-Gon said,
there's always a bigger fish.
Turns out in this case, I'm the bigger fish. And I didn't quite expect that. I guess I should have. And I'm aware that there's probably bigger fish than me. But for now, from what I've seen, I'm the biggest fish. I'm okay with that. But what was interesting and why this channel is that people are viewing 250-pound people as giants, as the big guys in the gym. My coach, I believe, started around 250 or 260, and he was viewed as the big guy for, I think, 2 years, his first 2 years in his gym. But the problem with a 250-pound person being viewed as big or giant, and especially some of these other channels about slaying the giants in Jiu-Jitsu, is that I'm 200 pounds more than that 250-pound person. That's not a little, that is significant. I mean, even these 300-pound giants that you see people talking about in their gyms, these 300-pound D1 wrestlers and all these things. I'm that guy, maybe not the D1 wrestler, but I'm that guy plus a whole NFL wide receiver. Like Like a whole other person. That's a big deal. You take a 300-pound person and he can stand there and you put one 45-pound plate in his arms, and then another one, and then a third 45-pound plate, and then you ice that cake that he's holding with a 10-pounder and a 5-pounder, and you've hit me. So I wasn't sure that this is something that I could do. I watched the videos. There seems to be heavy people doing it. You have an advantage in your strength and in your size, and many videos encourage you to lean into that and not let other people make excuses for it, which was encouraging. But if they're viewing giants as half my weight, then is this really something I can do? And so I did it. Nonetheless, I did it. I went to my first class, and I've been doing it for a little bit over a month now. And I've thought about doing these videos. I even recorded my first thoughts after my first real roll in gi, just in case I decided to do this. But I wasn't sure. And the more that I've seen, this is a missing thing, especially once I saw this post. Check this out. This is in a group for about 40 people, about 40-year-old people in jiu-jitsu on Facebook. It says this: "Hi, I'm 40 years old. I'm feeling sluggish as I was recently diagnosed with diabetes. To keep my blood sugar level down and hopefully don't get into a coma, my doctor advised me to have a more active lifestyle." So you have some doctor clearance on being active. "I used to be that active in my younger years playing varsity basketball until the corporate world and fatherhood caught up." Definitely know what that feels like. "So I went back to Muay Thai, but my ankles are killing me as it was traditional and makes us run until I can never have the time to actually learn the techniques. Watching, reading, listening to people about BJJ in the last 5 years sounded like it's the one for me to try out. So I went to 2 gyms but was declined because I wouldn't be able to handle the intensity, because I need to lose weight first via diet and running, as it involves flexibility. They had no problems having me go through their boxing or Muay Thai programs though. Any overweight people here?" So I answered and I said, "Man, I was 430 pounds when I actually started a month ago, down to 415 now today. I'm 414 today. You can definitely do it. And just do what you're able, and weight and flexibility will come around. It's life-changing, man. Don't tap out." Now, I was trying to play a little jiu-jitsu pun, I guess, in there. Don't tap out. This is needed, man. I get that in particular, I mean, you'll see me, I'm not your average 450-pound beer chicken. I know most people at this weight are more of a butterball variety, and I'm not that, and I'm thankful for that. But I've put in a lot of work over the years, still in the gym, and I value my strength. So I'm not your average 450-pound dude, but I'm still 400 pounds. Like, I'm still that weight. I still have to move that weight around. I still have those challenges. And so what I want to do is just kind of catalog my experience through this. I am fresh. I am a white belt, no stripes. I've lost some weight over the past 2 months that we'll talk about here in a little bit in other videos. But I want to help whoever I can. I want you to know that this is absolutely something that you can do. You can do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think everybody can. You hear people say, if I can do it, anyone can. As my coach says, when I say always, give me 5% for the anomaly. You're not the 5% just because you're heavy. You can do this. And I want you to know that you can, and that you're not alone. All right? There are people not only that are your size that are doing this, but your gym is going to have your back. It's not going to be like this experience that this guy had. There's no reason for those 2 gyms to turn him away. He may not have gotten what he needs out of it as quickly. I mean, he may, he's not going to hold back the class if he just observes and does what he can. This gym didn't deserve you, bro. You'll find one that you belong at. So you can do it. You're not alone. Just know that the game is the same for everyone. That's what is cool about jiu-jitsu that I didn't expect. You expect it to be a martial art, fighting, and I guess whatever your view of martial arts is, whether it's from Karate Kid to Jackie Chan to even John Wick, I guess, with Gun Fu. This is a sport. Like, you play jiu-jitsu. You don't do it. You play. You roll and you compete and you play. the game. You learn new moves to play in the game, and that to me was so cool. I didn't realize that is what the deal was. So you can play. We all are playing the game, and you're going to play it differently, and just like I play it differently. But my teammates play it differently. But we can play. You can sit down at the table, and, as it were, and play. Like, nothing's stopping you from that. So let me encourage you today, right now, click off this video after you subscribe, and reach out to a local gym. Just Google Maps Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. There will be gyms in your area. It is so much more popular now than it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. There will be gyms in your area. You find a gym, just text the number and reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Could I come in and talk with you? Do that. I did that for 2 gyms. One, I had to have, in my case, morning classes. And there's only one in my area that does morning classes, but there was one in my area that did morning classes. I mean, you see? And so I joined that gym, and I wish I had done it earlier. You hear that from everybody who starts this. I wish I had done it earlier. So reach out today, get the ball rolling so that you can get rolling. That's what we call sparring in jiu-jitsu. You're not alone. You can do this. You can absolutely do this. So subscribe to this channel for me and come on this journey with me. Maybe in 10 years you'll see a much darker belt around my waist. But today, white belt, no stripes, and we're on the journey. You can do it. You're not alone. Come along with me. See you guys.